Hey guys, Abby from Motor City Nerds here. Hi to all the new subscribers. Make sure you hit like. It really helps me out a lot. It's free. Leave a comment. It's free. And that stuff really does help me out. But can we just change these lights for a second? And then we're going to talk about Secret Invasion. If you're new here, this is my favorite part of the MCU. Now, I have concerns, but the little Manchurian candidate, outside of like the super soldier serum, but like spies and activating assassins and stuff like that, that is my favorite little corner of the MCU. I don't know why, but I love it. Civil War is probably my favorite. Winter Soldier might be my favorite movie out of all of the MCU, but I just love that little corner. Now, introducing so much space stuff, I'm not opposed to. I don't hate that. I'm here for that. My big concern is with normies and with people that haven't been keeping up with the MCU and kids. Because this is a lot to throw at an audience on top of what we have going on in Loki and multiverses and several different Kangs and all these different people. Like, so now we have doppelgangers. And I feel like we can just not get away from the Dark Tower, because I'm like, we're getting crazy. We're getting crazy, and you're introducing a lot. I'm not opposed to it. I'm sure other fans are not opposed to it, but this could have people struggling. That's all I'm saying. I'm super happy to have Sam Jackson getting his own stuff. And this might come out the wrong way, but I grew up in a time when the term Ruski was used a lot. And I thought it was kind of funny having somebody bring that back. I was like, oh, snap. I feel like I'm watching something from 30 years ago. This is great. Okay, let's talk about the things I did really like. And now I'm just going to be talking objectively from a series standpoint. I liked that we got a lot of info thrown at us at once. When we started out with Bilbo Baggins going to see... When we started out with Bilbo going to see Beric Dondarrion, in the very beginning, I was like, Mom immediately said, that's a Skrull. That's not a person. And I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is, where do we draw the line of going, how long have they been Skrulls? How long have they not been? But it seems to me like this was the only time this Skrull was messing around with this guy's face. He's in Black Panther, if you haven't picked up on that. He's in other stuff. And yeah, that's when I was like, oh, this is going to get crazy. Them introducing the daughter scenario and then having that come to, not a close, obviously, but having that still, they had so much in the first episode that I was like, thank you. This doesn't come off cheesy and lame, because they could have played out the daughter stuff way longer. And I immediately was like, no, Emilia Clarke's the daughter, right? And even them having their back and forth at the end of the episode, I'm like, no, good. Let's get all of that out of the way. Let's get going, get moving. And I appreciate that. This really had a lot in it, and it was moving fast, and I liked that. The introduction of the lady that worked with Nick Fury, but the one with the owl statue, but also her being like, I'll eradicate any Skrull I come across, but Nick Fury also being like, hey, we want to help people, and Talos being this kinder, submissive leader that doesn't want to deal with death, and I like that, but I also was like, we're teetering real close to Falcon and Winter Soldier storyline, and it's kind of a repeat a little bit, but I feel like this has a little more oomph to it, and that's not a knock against it. I'm just like, don't just hit repeat on things. Having him go into the bar and know people on the opposing side, I really loved that. And I really loved that people got shook when they found out Fury was back on Earth. And they were like, oh no, this is not good. This is not good. And we found out he has history with all these people, and we really knocked that out of the way. It's not coming off like they're going to draw that out, and I appreciate that. I heard a lot of people hating on the opening credits. I thought they were kind of cool, but then somebody said they were made by AI, so they didn't like that. I don't know how accurate that is, but I was like, I didn't hate them. They're the opening credits. I'm not... Sometimes I want them to come out swinging like it's Succession and stuff, but I'm like, if you just have some basic opening credits, I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm going to hold it against you if the show sucks. But even establishing like little things with the flower representing the daughter, that was cool. Like there's a little bit of nuance to this, and I can appreciate it. It's still Marvel. They're still going to hit you right on the nose with it. No, I'm not hating this. The one thing that I really thought they were going to draw out was when Maria says something to Nick Fury when they're playing chess. Now, playing chess is always a very significant thing in anything on screen. That means like what side is doing what. It means something. So when they're playing chess and they have their back and forth, and she says like, whenever we play chess, you don't BS me. And then he says something else, and she says, no, because the Fury I knew. And I really like that they kept having her call him Fury over and over again. That way we know she's not a Skrull. But when she says, the Fury I knew was always 3 steps ahead. And with your eye off the ball, someone's going to get hurt. And I was like, she's going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. Because we need motivation for this character to realize, I need to get it together. And I was like, it's going to be Maria. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I really love that character. But having her die, if they take that away and they swap it later and go like, oh, she didn't, it's really going to take away the impact. So I hope they didn't do that. The one thing I called out was, those ain't the right bags. Those aren't the right bags. Something bad's going to happen. And I really liked the morphing into different people that Fury had seen throughout the episode already, freaking him out. That was really cool. He took his eye off the ball. I really liked that. I really like the acting in this so far. And I love Emilia Clarke, of course. She's great. But the one thing I kind of had issues with, but I'm like, okay, well, Maria's been around these kind of people, or species, so she would know, I guess, is their fist fight. When before, these Skrulls were straight murking people. They were like throwing people through walls and stuff. And then I'm like, oh, you can hold your own, but that also would add to Emilia Clarke's character, of Gaia's character, which I thought was interesting naming her Gaia because that means Earth, right? It means Earth or close to Earth. I could be making that up. But I thought that was a little interesting little thing. But when they're fighting, she might be holding back because she doesn't want to hurt people like her father didn't. So I kind of understand that, and I could make that argument. Obviously, Maria's getting hurt and harmed a lot in that fight, but I was like, prior to this, we saw them really turning up, and now they're kind of turning down. But it makes sense for the characters, like I said. But her death really hit me at the end. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. And it's very sad to me. The one issue I had with Ben, is it Ben Mendelsohn? Something like that? The actor who plays Talos? Sir, your accent was so strong, and this isn't your fault. Your accent was so strong at points that I couldn't understand him. And that just might have been my fault. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention fully. But there was a couple times where I was like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, enunciate better. And then for the rest of the episode, it was fine. It was great. But I do like this opposing ideologies of Fury and Talos running around. It's a little bit like The Odd Couple. I can always appreciate that. We like it in everything. We like it in True Detective. We like that pairing. So I do like that going on. But yeah, even the scene when they go to see the art dealer or the guy with the Louis XIV chair or Louis XVI, that was funny. But when Fury offs him, I think we all were like, good, finally. But when Talos looks at him, he's like, I said no. That really hit home where it was like, I told you I did not want death. I did not want that. That's not what I want. And I do like the daughter being resentful and joining this opposing extremist group and everything going on there. I thought that was really cool. And I think this has a lot it could do, and I'm really excited for it. I think Secret Invasion has been the one thing I've been super pumped for since Loki, and I still am. I don't want it to come off like I'm not. I just am like, there's some things that I think we need to address here, and I think there's some things that could be issues for either younger audiences or people that aren't super fans of the MCU or of comics, all culminating together in a universe sense, not for a series sense. So I'm still hopeful for this, and I'm still really digging it. But I'm like, did we need to pump the brakes a little bit? I said it's giving off Mad Winter Soldier Falcon vibes of, oh, look at these people that don't mean to be doing bad, but they are to get their home back. And then all I could think was, how many alien species do we have rooting around on Earth at this point? We got Skrulls, we got New Asgard, we got all of this, and it's like, okay, well, we gave New Asgard like their place. Like, why can't we give the Skrulls their place? But I also understand this is a different world. Another thing that I really loved, and I did not think that they would touch on stuff like this, was the PTSD that Fury has from the snap. I thought that was really well done. And the fact that he's really not okay with everything that went down. He's essentially a super control freak like myself who goes, do you want to know what? I want the best for everybody. I want everybody to be okay. And if I have to do it in this type of way, I will. And I don't care if people hate me for it because I think I'm protecting people. But look what happens when you get too wound up in it or you get too close to the situation. And I really liked that. And I did not think they would go there with this. But I don't have much to say about Secret Invasion. I think that this is going to be, I think it's going to be good. I just don't know if it's too much for people. But I could definitely see if you're not into the MCU and you're into that spy thriller part of it. Because somebody left a comment on something and I thought it was really interesting. They were like, the MCU really struggles with the thriller part. And I'm like, I disagree. Winter Soldier, Civil War, all of those really knock it out the park. And those are all like spy thrillers. So if they use that same gusto for this, I'm here for it, and I'm gonna love it either way. Now, if you drop the ball on Nick Fury, on Samuel L. Jackson, who's been there from the very beginning, then I feel like fans will be more upset about that than we will be if you screw up the story. We'll be like, man, you really gypped Samuel L. Jackson, who's really put a lot into this franchise from the very beginning. And I highly doubt he ever thought it would go like this, but I love it, and I love that change of the actor and the look, and it's one of the top ones I use when people argue like, me, that character's not black, or that character's not white, or that character's not this, and I'm like, as long as you make the character awesome, I'm here for it. Like, I'm like, look at Nick Fury, look at Shawshank Redemption, look at those things, and I'm just like, no, he's great. And like I said, I do think the fandom and film nerds will be like, don't shaft him like this and give him some subpar series. The way they were like, boom, boom, boom. PTSD, boom, take your eye off the ball. Maria Hill down. Daughter stuff, we got introduced. We know it's her. You're not dragging it out. It doesn't come off cheesy. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, but I like it. And I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Tell me what you think about Secret Invasion so far, and if you guys want me to cover this fully, because I will. But I don't know. Just let me know. But I'm on OnlyF. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the stuff. It's down below in the description. And yeah, let me know how you feel about this. Oh, and I do respect Marvel. I respect them backing out of Comic-Con and stuff like that. But I think because I don't know if it was like a noble thing because of the writer's strike. But I got mad love for that writer's strike. Good for them.